might have the stevia in here. Or the stevia. The sugar, the stevia. It is me, Jeannette, aka Sweet Jean, and I'm here with an update video, but I am also going to eat. I'm sorry, I'm hungry, but I have a whole wheat grain turkey sandwich with cheese, turkey, tomato, lettuce, bacon, mayo, and horseradish because it is from Arby's. Then I also got some jalapeno bites with cream cheese stuffing. And then I have my Coca-Cola. And I also have my water, because sometimes the Coke kind of gets to me after a while. And I'm sorry about my... Actually, I'm not sorry. I don't have any makeup on. I don't have my hair fixed or anything like that. Look at this sandwich, doesn't it look good? And just kind of went to my parents' house, had some coffee, you know, talked with my parents a little bit, watched TV, watched TV with my dad, hung out with my dad, washed some clothes, laid around, watched YouTube. Kind of mulling over the appointment I had Thursday with my doctor, my oncologist. So I'm kind of going to go back a little bit. November 13, I went to the hospital, to the oncology unit, to get my chemo, which I get every other Friday. But when I went in, my blood was really, really low. Like I had low white blood cells, low red blood cells, low platelets, the lowest that I've ever had them. And I trend on the low end with the chemo that I'm on. I think the average reading, lab reading for blood, I don't know, it's called a complete blood count, is 12. I tend to be at an 8, and this time I was a 5. So it's really, really low. So I guess this would be a new diagnosis. They diagnosed me with having extreme anemia. So they kept me in the hospital. They gave me 3 units of blood, and they gave me 1 unit of platelets. A few videos back, I had mentioned that I had some problems with my teeth. My teeth were bleeding, having a lot of bleeding with my teeth. My nose bleeds every so often, sometimes worse than others. And whenever I get cuts, it takes a long time for it to stop bleeding. I have to like really put pressure on it for a while. And then I like bruise real easily. I don't know if you could see that, but I just bruise really easily. So they kept me in the hospital. I think it was 3 or 4 days. They gave me the 3 units of blood, like I said, the 1 unit of platelets. And then they just kept monitoring me. I was low on magnesium and low on potassium, which is typical. So they gave me that. So they didn't give me the chemo. And now it's already going to be a month later because she wanted to give my body a little break. She wanted my bone marrow to like really recover. And I keep looking over here because I have notes. So December the 13th, it'll be 1 month off of my chemo schedule. She said she wanted not to give me the chemo and to take a few weeks off of chemo because my bone marrow needed time to heal and recover, because every time they would give me blood, they would typically still give me chemo most of the time. Every so often they would skip it, but it's just been taking a toll on my bone marrow, and I've been on chemo nonstop for 4.5 going on 5 years. It'll be 5 years in March in 2021. So it's just causing more and more stress on the bone marrow, the chemo. So she wants me to be off of the chemo for a few weeks. And it's scary to me to be off of chemo because of the type of cancer that I have. I have stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, considered terminal because there's no cure. I'll be on chemo for the rest of my life until I die, because it's holding the cancer back from spreading further, because it's already spread to my breast, my lymph nodes, my chest, my neck, my liver, my lungs, the lining of my abdomen, and in my bones and in my spine. And I had to have spinal surgery. The day I found out that I had stage 4 and all the places that I had spread is the day that they admitted me to the hospital to have spinal surgery, because 3 of my vertebrae were pretty much attacked by cancerous mass, and it was just mush. Within my spinal column, getting ready to get right into my spinal cord, and I would have been paralyzed. That's why I was rushed to the hospital that day. So to be off of chemo this long is scary to me, because I don't want the cancer to spread, because there's nothing holding it back. There's no chemo in my body holding it back from spreading. And I told her, I said, are you sure that I should be off of it for that long? Because it's a bit scary. What if the cancer spreads? Because I'm giving my body a break. And so she basically said that I can't live without a good bone marrow. If I don't have a good and active bone marrow, then I can't fight off infection. An infection can pretty much kill off the rest of my bone marrow, and without bone marrow to kill off infection, it's pretty much adios to me, you know? Like, it's not going to be any good. It's going to be like arrivederci, my friends, you know? Like, if I can't fight off infection, you know, I could die. So I need to let my bone marrow heal so that I have a strong bone marrow and a good bone marrow and an active bone marrow to fight off infection, because I may not die of breast cancer, but I'm going to die of a secondary disease or secondary illness that is caused by breast cancer, which is the chemo causing stress on my bone marrow and not me letting it allow to heal and recover. So and I feel better. I feel so much better physically, not being on chemo for a month now. I don't have that fatigue that I used to have. I still have pain in my neck and in my back, but that's because of the surgery and because I have rods and screws in my neck and in my back. So that's always going to be there, but the fatigue, the extreme fatigue that I was having has lifted and I feel good. I have more energy. I'm not strong. My legs are weak and my upper body's weak, but I don't feel the fatigue. So on one hand, I'm happy because I feel good. I feel so much better. But on the other hand, I'm anxious and I have anxiety because I'm not putting into my body anything that's fighting the cancer or keeping the cancer from spreading. And I don't want the cancer to spread just because I felt good, just because I want to feel good. I'd rather be in pain and know that the cancer is being held back than to feel good knowing that the cancer could possibly spread. I hope that makes sense. These are the jalapeno. It doesn't want to focus, but it's like cream cheese inside half of a jalapeno shell. And they're really good. They're not really spicy. Tiny bit, but not much. They're really, really good. So I want to eat them while they're still warm and melty. Sandwich is cold, so but you know, I don't know how I feel. She said, I know I know you might have anxiety, because I always have anxiety before chemo. And I'm always telling her that I'm always anxious. My brain won't stop. She knows me. I'm a worrywart. She said, try to enjoy your holidays feeling good. And she wants to see me either in 2 or 3 weeks. So at the end of December, early January. To start up again. Because if it were me, I would start up now. But we do need to let my bone marrow heal. Because like she said, if I don't have a good bone marrow, active bone marrow, I can't fight off infection. And the next time I get an infection, which I had a fever, almost 2 weeks now, that I posted on my community tab, I wouldn't have been able to fight that off. Which is scary. Especially since my support group, my cancer support group that I've been in for 4.5, close to 5 years. No, 4.5 years. I've lost so many women and they're doing fine. And 1 week, their body just gives up or something happens. They get an infection. They can't fight it off. And they go downhill so quickly. And I've lost a lot of friends who have passed away. And they were doing great. They were doing fine. And so I don't want to be that person. So I'm really, really putting my life and my trust in my doctor. And I'm really hoping that this is the right choice. I can't help to have anxiety. I can't help to worry. I don't want the cancer to spread further. I don't want to get an infection that I can't fight off. I'm not ready to go. I still have a lot of life left in me. There's still a lot of things that I want to do. And I need to see my son grow and be there to support him and watch him fall in love and watch him get married and watch him have babies. And, you know, I want to be a grandma, take care of the little ones. I want to bake cookies with them. So I'm not ready to go. I don't want to go yet. So if you ever, I told my family and I told one of my cousins this, I said, if you ever hear the words out of my mouth saying that I'm ready to go, please know that I'm delirious and that I don't know what I'm talking about and that I'm probably in so much pain that my brain isn't comprehending that once I get through that pain and once I get better, I'll be better. So if you ever hear me say that I'm ready to go, I'm not in my right mind. I'll never, ever be ready to go as long as I have my son here with me. I can't go. I can't go. I can't go. So, anywho's, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to end the video here. Sorry that it took a turn to the emotional side of things. Let me grab this. Sorry that it took a turn to the emotional side of things, but as you guys know, I am an emotional person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Some might say I'm a bit dramatic, and that's okay. That's just the way I was made. And that's just me. And I'm not going to change me to please anybody. So anyhow, if you're new here and you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd love to have you follow my journey, my life journey living with terminal breast cancer. And it's just everyday life. I don't sugarcoat anything. Sometimes I may have a full face of makeup and my hair mane, and some days you get this. And so just keeping it real and just keeping it raw. And I appreciate you guys for watching to the end. Thank you for all the love and support you guys always show me in the comments. And I'm going to end this video with a good night, goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow.